Today's tutorial is for this flower puff stitch scarf. I made this scarf with one skein of Alize Angora Gold. This is a category 2 fine yarn. I work with a hook size 3.5 millimeters. This yarn is 20% wool and 80% acrylic, and even though the texture is lacy, it is quite a warm scarf. One skein has about 600 yards or 100 grams. The finished measurements of the scarf are about 50 inches long and 8 inches wide. So this is a smaller size scarf made from one skein. Of course, you can adjust the pattern and make the scarf longer and wider. The multiple for the stitch is 10 plus 3. The written pattern will be available in my Etsy and Ravelry shops. And thank you so much for purchasing my patterns and for supporting my channel. I start with 53 chains and I crochet the chains quite loosely. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here I have 53 chains, and the first row is going to be a row of double crochets. Into the fourth chain from the hook I will make a double crochet. We never count the chain on the hook, we always start counting from the next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and into this chain I make a double crochet, and now I will make a double crochet into each chain across. I finished the first row. Now I turn my work and I start the next row with 3 chains. 1, 2, 3, and these 3 chains count as my first double crochet. Now into each one of the next 3 double crochets I make a double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Now into the next double crochet I work 2 double crochets. 1, 2. Next 1 chain and I skip the next double crochet, and into the next one I work 2 double crochets again. 1, 2. And now into each one of the next 3 double crochets I make a double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Next 1 chain, I skip the next double crochet, and into each one of the next 3 double crochets I make a double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and into the next double crochet I work 2 double crochets. 1, 2, 1 chain, I skip the next double crochet, and into the next double crochet I work 2 double crochets. 1, 2. Now into each one of the next 3 double crochets I make a double crochet. 1, 2, 3. And the pattern repeats. 1 chain, I skip the next double crochet, and into each one of the next 3 double crochets I work a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and into the next double crochet I work 2 double crochets. 1, 2, 1 chain, I skip the next double crochet, and into the next one I work 2 double crochets. 1, 2, and now again into each one of the next 3 double crochets I make a double crochet. Now one chain, I skip the next double crochet, and again into each one of the next 3 double crochets I work a double crochet, and then in the following one I will work 2 double crochets, and that's how I'm going to continue crocheting until the end of this row. At the end of the row I worked 2 double crochets into 1 double crochet, then 3 double crochets, and now I have 1 stitch left, and I make a double crochet into that last stitch. So at the end of the row I have 2 double crochets over here and then 4 double crochets right there. I turn my work and I start the next row with 1 chain, and into the first double crochet I make a single crochet. Next 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and now I will be working puff stitches separated by 2 chains into this chain 1 space. So yarn over, insert the hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, insert the hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, insert the hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, insert the hook, draw up a loop. I did that a total of 4 times. Now I have 8 loops on the hook over here and this 1 chain right there. I do yarn over and I draw that yarn through the 8 loops on the hook. Now I have 2, I do yarn over and I finish that stitch, and here I have a puff stitch. Next 2 chains, 1, 2, and into the same space I make another puff stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, then yarn over, draw it through 8 loops. Now I have 2, yarn over and finish the stitch. Now 2 chains, 1, 2, and I work 1 more puff stitch into the same space. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and into this chain 1 space right here I make a single crochet. And now the pattern is gonna repeat from here. Again 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and into this chain 1 space I will work 3 puff stitches again separated by 2 chains. 2 chains here and 2 chains there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 chains, and again 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 chains, and again 1, 2, 3, 4, next 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and into the next chain 1 space a single crochet. And I do the same thing, 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, then a puff stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 chains, and another puff stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 chains, and 1 more puff stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and into the next chain 1 space a single crochet. And I'm gonna continue crocheting this row, so I will have 2 more pattern repeats. At the end of the row, after I made puff stitches over here, I make 3 chains and I end this row with a single crochet into the last double crochet. Well, it's actually a turning chain, but we count it as a double crochet. And in this row I have 5 pattern repeats. I start the next row, row number 4, with 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and these 4 chains count as the first treble. I skip the next chain through space, and now I will be working into this chain 2 space right here, and this is where I'm going to work 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, 1 chain, and into the next chain 2 space again I work 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, 1 chain. I skip the next chain 3 spaces, this one, and and now I will be working again into the chain 2 space in between the next 2 puff stitches. So over here again I make 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 1 chain, and into the next chain 2 space again 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, 1 chain. I skip the next chain 3 spaces, this one, and into the next chain 2 space over here. Again, I work 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 chain, and again 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again I make 1 chain, skip the next chain 3 spaces, and over here again I will work 5 double crochets, and that's how I'm going to continue all the way across. And now I am at the end of the row, and I'm going to make a treble into the last single crochet. And this row is finished. I turn my work, and all I'm gonna do now is repeat row 3 and 4. So I'm gonna start the row number 3 again. I start with 1 chain and make a single crochet into the first stitch, then 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and into this chain 1 space I will work 3 puff stitches separated by 2 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, then 2 chains, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I have 2 puff stitches and 2 chains, 1, 2, and 1 more puff stitch. Now 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and into the next chain 1 space I make a single crochet. And now the same thing I do here, 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and over here I will work 3 puff stitches separated by 2 chains. And that's how I'm going to continue crocheting the scarf, repeating rows 3 and 4 for the pattern. And this is what the scarf looks like. Now I'm going to make the last row as a row of double crochets, because I started the scarf with a row of double crochets, and I should end with a row of double crochets. The very last row that I did over here was row number 4. And now I start with 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, which count as the first double crochet. And all I'm gonna do now is make a double crochet into each double crochet in this previous row, and I'm going to skip the chain 1 spaces. So I only work a double crochet into each double crochet all the way across. And at the end of the row, I'm gonna make a double crochet into the last treble, or into the last stitch. And now I can fasten off and the scarf is finished.